What's going on, Libra? It's your girl D here. I'm bringing you your September 2022 astrology reading. We're starting off for the month of September. So hopefully you guys are, enjoying this time, this energy that we're in. We're starting to feel the planetary shifts come in because we got a lot of planets going direct and one or two going retrograde within the next 60 days. Okay, so some changes going on. All right, so if it's been pretty quiet and pretty mellow for you, that might change for the positive or for the negative, or just change, period. Right, but let's just see what's going on for you guys for the month of September. Oh, make sure you check out the astrology read that I did for you last month. Okay, the one for August. I think it's best to listen to this now for September, of course, but at the end of September you want to check this out as well, just to see if anything that was spoken about resonated with you more so now that the month has passed. So make sure you check out your Libra August astrology read that I did for you. Go to the Libra 2022 playlist to get that, right? And make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post. For those of you who are new, welcome. This is an astrology read. There's not going to be any cards. This is something that I'm doing once a month for my channel, because I deal heavily in astrology here on this channel, and I also do retrograde readings. Whenever a planet goes in retrograde, I'm do retrograde readings for you all. The next one that we're going to do this coming month is Uranus in retrograde for all of the signs, through all the signs. I'm going to do that probably in a couple of days. But I wanted to get this reading out for you first. We'll do that Uranus reading. And then we'll also do your North Node readings that I do every month for you. And then by that time, I believe, we'll see what happens at the end of the month. Mercury retrograde is coming up on the 9th. Or is it the 4th? But I'm not going to do a Mercury retrograde reading, I don't think. Because Mercury, well, maybe I will. We'll see. I really don't like to do Mercury retrograde because everybody knows about Mercury retrograde. I really like to take my time and energy and effort to do readings on the planets that a lot of people don't hear a lot about. Mercury goes in retrograde 3 times a year. So we always hear about the Mercury retrograde. There's a lot of information available about it. So I want to touch more on the planets that a lot of people don't talk about, that you don't find readings on. So I may not do much with Mercury, but we'll see, okay? But I'm not guaranteeing and making any promises about Mercury retrograde. But let's get into it. So your first house, this is where Mercury is, right? Mercury's going to go in retrograde on the 9th, okay, in your house. But let's just talk about it briefly here. Mercury is the planet of processing, the processing of information. All it deals with is information, all right? Ideas, thoughts, right? Viewpoints, perspectives. But it doesn't deal with emotion because it's air energy. So it just deals with the ideas, the thoughts, the views, the emotions. I just said we're not dealing with emotions. But it deals with the ideas, the perspective on things, right? Devout of emotion. Keep that in mind with Mercury. So with Mercury, it's all about communication as well. It's all about how you communicate, not just verbally, but physically. How do you communicate? Do you talk with your hands? Are you very expressive when you communicate? How do I know you're angry if I just, if I look at you? Like, does your face squinch up? Do you yell and scream? Like, all that is forms of communication. So, and Mercury is also how you process things too. So if I'm saying something to you, Mercury is not only about me communicating it, but it's also about what you understand and how you take it in and how you digest it logically, right? So Mercury is going in retrograde in your first house. It's been in your first house for a little bit, right? So it's all about the communication in reference to you and how you communicate with others and how others are communicating with you and what you're understanding about that communication that you're getting from others, and also about making sure that you're communicating effectively so that people understand where you're coming from, right? Because that first house deals with how you represent yourself to the world, how you stand your ground, how you command your space. And so with Mercury there, you want to make sure that you're communicating effectively, that you're letting people know, what it is that you want, what your intentions are, what you will allow, and what you won't, right? So with Mercury in retrograde coming up, you're already probably feeling these energies because, usually 2 weeks before the actual retrograde is when you start feeling these energies. You could be feeling this right now, like you may be questioning, okay, maybe I wasn't clear in my communication, or maybe I was giving mixed signals, or maybe this person was just disrespecting me and disregarding me, in reference to what I said and how I felt. And so you're going to be questioning those things. But when we look at retrogrades, we're looking at what's going on internally. So it's like, okay, did I communicate effectively? Did I say one thing, but then I did another? Or did I say what I meant and I stood my ground, and did somebody have a problem with it? And if they did, why? Or if I had a problem with not communicating effectively, why didn't I? So these are some of the things you might be questioning. Mercury also deals with, the communication through the news, the media. So we'll be hearing a lot about, because, Libra, you rule the legal environment. Okay. There's a couple of planets that deal with legalities. Scorpio deals with legalities when it comes to after death. Cancer deals with legalities when it comes to planning, a time for transition for a family member. Sagittarius deals with legal aspects as well. So it just depends on what way you're looking at it, but we're going to be looking at a lot of those things, or you're going to be looking at a lot of those areas in your life in reference to the legalities. We'll be seeing a lot on TV, the news, about politics, what's going on in politics, all right, where something may affect you or may strike a chord with you specifically, okay? Your second house is where Scorpio is. That's where the South Node for the collective is at. Your second house has to do with your self-esteem, your self-value, your self-worth. And with the South Node here, when the South Node is present, what we're looking at in the South Node is energies of that you've already mastered. Whether you've mastered these energies going through childhood experiences into your adult life, or whether you've experienced these situations in past lives. There are tools that you've learned and that you've acquired as far as the scorpionic energy are concerned. And that's all about transformation. So now what we're looking at in your second house of your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-value, the house of your security versus your insecurity, whether it's emotionally or whether it's tangibly with assets. You're looking at all the skills that you've mastered with scorpionic energy, how to maneuver, how to transform, when to notice that transformation is coming and not to fight it, and to accept it and to move on. You've mastered these skills when it comes to your insecurities, right? So now it's time for you to take that energy with that Mercury retrograde and figure out where you want to go. So for some of you, you could be starting a new job, or looking to start a new profession or a new career, or you could be looking for different ways to make money, to add multiple streams of income into your life. So for some of you, it may involve investing with other people, because the scorpionic energy deals with other people and power dynamics involved in that. So you could be dealing with some power dynamics in reference to legalities, in reference to maybe a death of a family member or a relative. Maybe you're looking on putting a will together, a living will. Some of you could be experiencing that or considering that. All right. So there's nothing going on right now in your third house, but your fourth house, we have Pluto here in retrograde. Your fourth house has to do with your emotions, your stability, your emotional security, what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel safe and secure, right? And the way that you express this is in a Capricornian way, where you're very, you may show that there's some rules. You may have like a certain way of doing things. Like there's etiquette to everything, is my Capricorn saying. There's etiquette to everything. There's ways that you go about doing everything. There's rules to everything, right? Whether they're unwritten or written, there's an etiquette to everything. And so I feel like with Pluto here in your fourth house in retrograde, you're really starting to look at the power dynamics and the struggle that you may have had in establishing rules. It could be with dealing with family members, or it could just be in reference to your own personal emotions and feelings. Okay? So you could be looking back at relationships or scenarios or situations where there was a power struggle between you and a family member. Okay? or you and your emotions and why it was difficult for you to get over a particular emotion or to fight a particular emotion. Um, but I do feel like for some of you, it's with family members specifically. Okay. You are going through some changes with family members, perhaps where you're deciding, okay, these are the ones I'm going to deal with. These are the family members I'm not going to deal with. I'm no longer going to be in a power struggle with them to respect me and to show me the common courtesy and respect I deserve. If they're not going to show it to me, then I'm going to move on. And the thing is that Pluto is going direct on October 8th. So Pluto is starting a whole new cycle, right? And in your fifth house where Saturn is, Saturn deals with karmic and timing. That's a whole new cycle starting in October as well. So with both of these planets going retrograde or going direct in October, this karmic cycle that you're in right now is coming to a close. The energies are starting to change. So if you've not come out of these relationships with family members or people who are close to you or that you have a tradition with, where there's a lack of respect or there's an overpowering energy, if you've not taken control of this, you're going to go into the next cycle, the next karmic cycle with these same energies. And that's going to be very exhausting because you fought so hard to get these people out of your life, or you fought so hard against trying to get them to see that they're not being respectful to you, that it's got to come a point in time where you realize, okay, this is enough. I got to leave this alone. And I'm ready to start on with the new karmic cycle. If you want to bring old baggage into the new karmic cycle, that's up to you. A lot of us have done this in many lifetimes because we didn't realize or understand astrology, and understand the challenges that come with karmic cycles and knowing when to end them, and they just keep going on and on and on and on. But now that you have this knowledge and now that you have this information and you're able to actually really sit down and use discernment, you can decide when, okay, you know what, the cycle's coming to a close. We're starting a new cycle in October. I don't want to bring this old baggage that I'm not happy with into this new cycle. So this is my cue here to finally put my foot down and draw the line in the sand as far as who and what I'm going to deal with moving forward and who and what I'm not going to deal with moving forward. Okay, this is what the collective is dealing with, but you're just dealing with it in different areas of your life. Okay, so with your fifth house, this is the house of fun. Okay, and it comes off in a very Aquarian way. So you like to have fun with your friends. You like to connect with people who you have similar interests in, who like to have fun the same way you do. Well, with Saturn here, you may have outgrown some of the, like you may have had some childhood friends that you grew up with and you guys like to do the same things. Well, now with Saturn in retrograde, Saturn is an energy of, okay, the time is up. Time to move on. And when it's in retrograde, it's questioning what you should move on from versus what you should continue, right? And so for some of you, the way that you have fun or the people that you have fun with, that could be coming to an end because you've outgrown these people. Saturn is an energy of outgrowing things, moving on, letting them go. So where you may have connected with these types of friends, you may have done these things that you guys like to do. You may be outgrowing, like, yo, I don't like doing that anymore. Yeah, I used to like going out to the club with my friends, but I'm done with that now. I'm in my 30s now. I'm not really into the club anymore. Like, I have other things that I can do to entertain myself. I don't have to go out to the club anymore. I don't have to, go out and get sloshed to I fall out, anymore. Because this is what we're dealing with the fifth house. This is what you like to do for fun. The fifth house has to do with indulgences, fetishes, things like that. It also has to do with situationships, one night stands. Maybe some of you are coming to the conclusion where, you know what, I'm tired of jumping into relationships with people before I really take time to get to know them and vet them. I want something that's long lasting. Or the people that I've connected with and I've decided to attach to for a long term may not be people that it's meant for me to be in a long-term connection with. These could just be flings that I've tried to make a relationship out of, right? So trying to turn a hoe into a housewife, or trying to turn a husband into a hoe into a husband. Like, you may realize that you may have encountered this type of scenario situation with someone that you need to let go of, right? Or just treat them what they are. Like, okay, yeah, you don't want anything serious. All right, well, you know what? I decided I don't want anything serious either, and that's the lane that you're going to stay in with that person. And then if you want something serious, then you're going to have to say, okay, this person's not going to give me what I want. We've been together X a number of years. They're not willing to take it to the next level. I need to leave this person alone, right? So some of you could have been also, restricting yourself from going on vacation because of the rules and regulations that have been going on with the pandemic and everything else. But I feel like, with Saturn going direct October 23rd, the rules are starting to lax. So for some of you, you're going to start vacationing, or you're going to plan vacation. Some of you may be taking a trip or planning to take a trip anytime between now or the end of the year. Could be around your birthday season. Maybe that's what you're planning for. All right. Your sixth house has to do with Neptune. Your sixth house is your routines, your patterns, the things you do every day. It's also about your health, how you take care of your health, your physical body. It's also about restrictions, rules, regulations, your pets, right? And that comes out in a very Piscean way for you. So you're very agile, you're very flexible in reference to changing things. You see things from various perspectives. You are very compassionate in reference to understanding, patterns and rules and not rules and regulations, so to speak, but yeah, in a sense it is, because it's your structure, what structure you have, your hierarchical structure. And so with Neptune in retrograde there, Neptune is all about illusions, the creative imagination, psychic abilities. And so when it's in retrograde, the illusions sort of fade. So you're able to see things for what they are. And your intuitive abilities are enhanced. So you can sense something that maybe you haven't sensed before. And as a result, you may sense that you need to change a particular pattern. It's like, I sense that, now that school is starting, I need to, go Route 66 instead of going, Highway 27. Right? Because of the fact that school's starting. I'm not trying to get caught up in traffic. I need to be able to get where I need to get on time. Things like that. Maybe you're just seeing that there's certain also could be just you seeing certain patterns that you have set, or maybe a lack of priorities that you've set have put you in a position where you haven't gotten anything done because you haven't really sat down and laid down the law, so to speak, and put effort and energy into it. Pisces energy is an energy that's very mutable. It's like, okay, if we're not going to do it, okay, I understand why. Okay, we won't do it. Then the next day it'll be like, oh, okay, this is why you want to do it. Okay, I understand. Let's go ahead and do it. So it could be like a energy, if it's in a negative sense, it could be wishy-washy back and forth. So the Neptune retrograde energy is there showing you what you could be wishy-washy about in reference to setting patterns, setting routines, setting schedules, so that you stick to what it is that you need to stick to so that you can get your goals accomplished. Now your 8th house, that's where Taurus, the North Node, is, okay? And so as far as your 8th house is concerned, with Taurus here, we have Uranus in retrograde as well. Now, the 8th house deals with, things that are hidden, your hidden emotions, things you do behind closed doors that nobody knows about. Also, the power struggles you may have in reference to the people that you're intimate with, or just people, period, whoever you're dealing with on a regular basis, the power dynamics between you all. But specifically when it comes to intimate relationships, we're dealing with the power dynamics there. Now, with Uranus there in retrograde, Uranus is like a planet of surprise. It could be something good or it could be something negative. But when it's in retrograde, you either dealt with the surprise and now you're dealing with the aftermath of it, whether it's something positive that happened or something negative that happened, or it could be like an energy of something slowly, because Uranus reminds me of the Tasmanian devil, right? You know how it just comes through and spins through and just tears shit up? Like, that's what I think of when I think of Uranus direct. But when it's in retrograde, it's like, okay, the Tasmanian devil is taking a breather. He's taking a breath. And he's looking at all the destruction he has caused and how to fix that up, or what needs to be done to fix the damages that were done. It could also be him just resting up, getting his wind again, so that, when he goes direct in January, that he just goes back full throttle again. So it could just be you looking at all the things that have occurred, the power dynamics between you and whomever, the aftermath of that. Like, if you were overbearing and overpowering, what's happening now? Is it causing you comfort? Does it cause you, does it put you in a position where you're at ease, you're at peace now that this is over? So now the Tasmanian devil has stopped spinning. Is there peace in your life now? Or was there peace when the Tasmanian devil was spinning around, and now that the Tasmanian devil's in retrograde and resting, is there a lot of turmoil and stress in your life? So you're looking at that too. All right. But Taurus is an energy of comforts, it's an energy of indulgences, right? So it's an energy of being able to live off, some people living off of other people's money. So for some of you, you may have been in a situation where you were financially secure or stable due to your partner. And maybe something happened with your partner. Maybe you and your partner are no more. That could be that Uranus retrograde energy where now you have to fend for yourself financially. And so that comfort and that peace that you were experiencing, the indulgence, the comfort level that Taurus brings is no more because you and this person broke up. Some of you are dealing with that. Or it could be vice versa, right? Now that you're no longer with this person, you may not have, or you don't have to support them anymore. But we'll get into Uranus. I'll do Uranus retrograde readings for you guys after this. So we'll get specific with that. I don't want to get too deep into that. Your ninth house is where Mars is, right? And that's Mars in Gemini. Now, Mars in Gemini has a reputation of just being crazy, all right? Because it can be. Very much so, all right? But this is in your ninth house. So this is your higher mind, okay? This is your spiritual religious beliefs. This is your philosophical view on things, okay? This is the experiences that you've acquired that have put you in a position where you should have gained wisdom from these experiences. Now, that energy will come out in a very Gemini way, meaning that you will have various perspectives and views on, because of the things that you've experienced. You've experienced this, you've experienced that. And so with Mars here, Mars is an energy of making things more, let's go, 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 go. Instead of, being laid back, it's like the opposite. It's go, 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 go. Let's go, let's get it. And so you may be wanting to experience different things. You may want to travel. You may be feeling that energy to travel, to visit, to I did talk about travel earlier for you guys too, but I feel like that you may want to definitely travel. And if it's not about physically traveling, it could just be meditation. Really just going back and looking at some of the things that you've been through, the journey that you've been through, because the ninth house deals with journeys. And, with Mars there, it might make you a little frustrated, may make you a little angry, okay? May make you want to, pump the gas on something real quick or speed something up. And it may come out in a manner where, people may not understand where you're coming from. So be careful not to lose your temper, because you may have thought things would be a certain way and they're really not anymore. Some of you could be going through a major psychological transformation here. Now, there's nothing going on in your Cancer house, which is your 10th house. Nothing going on in your Leo house, which is your 11th house. But you do have Venus and Virgo in your 12th house. So anytime there's something in your 12th house, I recommend that you pay attention to your dreams. Venus is the energy of beauty. It's the energy of indulgence. It's the energy of sexual desires. It's the energy of money, okay? And it's in the Virgo house, which is your house of your mental. I feel like this is like your investigator energy. This is why I like Virgo and Scorpio. They're similar in so many ways. I talk about that a lot. But this is the energy of really investigating what's going on, looking at what your priorities are, what's important to you. That's how it's going to come out, this Venus energy. So it's like what and it may be subconscious to you. So you may be attracting energies to you that, people may be attracted to you because of your looks, right? They may find you very attractive. You may be in a position where you're drawing a lot of energy to you and you may not even understand why. I mean, you could very well be an attractive person, but, there could be people who are really just, they may like your lifestyle. They may like the way that you take care of yourself. They may like, that could be a feature or a characteristic of yours that attracts someone to you. The way you take pride in care in yourself, and you may not even realize that, right? Your beauty, your attractiveness is subconsciously what draws or what's going to draw people to you. So you may have caught a couple numbers this month. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Or, back in August, you may have cut a couple numbers, and you may catch some more this month too. So, be open with your relationships and moving forward with new relationships, but you definitely want to wrap up old cycles. Again, we got a lot of these planets going direct in October. So if you are in relationships and scenarios and situations and circumstances where you're not happy, please do what you can to end those relationships, get out of them so that you can start this new cycle fresh. Be cognizant of the people who are around you. Vet them out. Take time to get to know them. Don't jump into things so quickly, especially with your Saturn in your fifth house in retrograde. You're looking back at situations and circumstances that you jumped into, like one night stand situationships that you jumped into too quickly. And now you're reassessing that and realizing, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Let me be cool. Let me take my time and figure out what it, because some of you guys are attracted to people who are very unique in their own right, people who are kind of rebellious in nature. Like you try to relate to these people, and trying to relate to some of these people are Libra energy is an energy that tries to relate to everybody, but there's just some people you have to understand as a Libra, that as an ascendant Libra, one that says as ascended, that you can't relate to everybody. And that's the true lesson of Libra. It's like you try to balance the scales, but you can't balance them with everybody. Balancing the scales with some people means you leaving them alone. And once you ascend to a higher level of your Libra understanding, you will recognize that. Another aspect of ascending to the higher level of Libra is not being a people pleaser for the people that you do relate to. Not giving them everything and bending over backwards, and you not getting, that energy reciprocated to you. So these are some of the things that some of you may encounter this month. I want to thank you for checking out the astrology read. Let me know if it resonates with you, but make sure you check out the one for August to see if that resonated now that we're moving out of August and moving into September. So yeah, just keep in mind Libra season comes up on September 23rd, right? So your birthday's coming soon, so enjoy, the energies that you're feeling. Get ready for your solar return. And again, thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you need a personal, my information's in the box below. I also have another channel that I do tarot card readings on. Make sure you subscribe to that. It's called Many Styles of Tarot, and the link for that is in the box below as well. All right, well, I wish you guys the best. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, and I'll see you in the next reading.